You have a feeling this.
Good evening, everyone. It is now 7 p.m. I will call the Tuesday, December 17th, 2024 Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes from December 3rd, 2024.
Second,
Any discussion on the minutes?
No.
I did not see anything.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I don't have any correspondence to share today. Open the floor to selectmen comments. Selectmen comments.
We got the holiday coming. Hopefully everybody, because we won't meet till after the first of the year with this, so hopefully everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, safe New Year. One of the biggest things. Weather's been outstanding for the next couple of days.
Yep.
But it's going to fall off very quickly. The only other thing that I've got is, and you can give me some information. We're changing the hours of our office for a few select people in the town hall,
No.
the amount of hours they're working a week.
What's minimum is what's changing. It doesn't affect their pay in any way. I want to make sure that you understand.
Well, that,
Wait, what are you saying? That they're changing the hours of the town hall, like the hours that are open, or what are you asking?
no, not the hours open.
The hours open are 35 hours for the town hall. The majority of the staff work 35 hours.
32.
What's being
35.
required of salaried employees is to meet a minimum of 35 hours and to log all additional hours that they're working. I'll share the memo with you.
Okay.
So,
All right, thank you.
yeah, because they're salaried. So they meet office hours,
Mhm.
which would be 35 hours open door here at town hall. And then all the additional meetings they go to, in the case of the rec director, anything he's doing outside, I want to know, and I want that logged on their sheets. So in total, most of them will be working more than 35 hours, closer to 40, 50. So,
But they're salaried.
correct, they're
Yeah.
salaried, so it doesn't affect their pay in any
No.
way.
That's what's expected of them.
Right.
Yeah. I got you. I thought you were saying that you were,
What, go
That we had
4-day
changed.
week?
no, that we had changed hours in the town hall, and I wasn't
Not
clear
that
on
I'm
what you were
aware of.
asking.
Nope.
No,
Still 2 o'clock on Friday and
Yep, 6 o'clock.
late on Thursday and
yeah,
the regular Monday, Wednesday. Normal hours.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any other selectmen comments from? you have
I
anything to say?
actually don't, other than it's our last meeting of the year, which
Mhm.
you just pointed out to me, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday. Enjoy. Thank you, thank you.
And all I can say is since I've been in this position, I've never felt more dread than when there's a little bit of snow on the ground or a little bit of ice on the road, because all I think about is the salt budget. That being said, our first storm we were successful with plowing promptly. Our second storm, same thing, getting the salt down. We did have a 9-ton truck break down on Porter Plain Road during the actual storm that we had, not the dusting. It did have to be towed. It is being repaired. But in the meantime, 2 days later, the brand new plow truck that we ordered 2 years ago finally landed. So,
Oh, nice.
so that was the good news.
How bad was the breakdown?
I'm trying to remember. It was an electronic thing, so nothing that we could do in-house
No.
either. So should be back on the road before the next storm though.
Because that becomes the backup.
And that's all I have. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Looking forward to the holiday. All right, with that, we'll open the floor to citizen comments. Any citizen comments? We'll start in the room. Any citizen comments? We'll move to the Zoom audience. Any citizen comments? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 7. It is an honor today to have Eric Kapitulik here with us. He is our December Veteran of the Month. And I'm just going to turn it over to Rainey, our Veterans Affairs Officer. Would you like to speak to start?
Have you ever known me not to want to?
So that's why we opened it up
That's
to you
why.
right away.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to read the press release like you usually do.
It was really long. You want to read it?
I could, if you want me to, sure, I'd be happy to.
I also didn't have it in my packet. So-
Why don't you, because
Okay.
I've got stuff to.
Is this the one? I don't think this is it, Rainey. All right, Eric Kapitulik was born and raised in Thompson, Connecticut. He is the son of longtime Thompson residents Louis and Louise Kapitulik. Eric graduated from the Pomfret School, where he was the recipient of the Pomfret Bowl, given annually to the school's most outstanding athlete. At Pomfret, Eric excelled at cross-country, basketball, and lacrosse. Upon graduating, he attended the United States Naval Academy. While there, he was a 4-year varsity letter winner and played on 3 NCAA Division I lacrosse tournament teams. He graduated in 1995 and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps, where he served as both an infantry officer and special operations officer with the 1st Force Reconnaissance Company. I cannot say that. 1st Marine Division. As a Force Reconnaissance platoon commander, Eric led 20 covert operations specialists in special operations related missions, including long range why do you have to keep having that word in there? Reconnaissance patrols, hostage rescue, high altitude jump exercises, ship takeovers, and gas oil platform takedowns. While training for their upcoming deployment to the Persian Gulf, Eric and his Marines were involved in a helicopter crash. 6 of his 10 Marines on board the helicopter with him perished. In an effort to raise money for a college scholarship fund he set up for the children of his deceased teammates, Eric began to compete in the world's longest endurance events and climb the world's tallest mountains. Since then, he has completed numerous marathons, 8 Ironman triathlons, the Canadian Death Race, Ultra Marathon, and the American Birkburnier Ski Marathon. He has summited 5 of the fabled 7 summits, the tallest peaks of each of the 7 continents, including Mount Everest. He is the founder and CEO of the Program Leadership LLC, a leadership development company that works with leading collegiate and professional athletic teams and corporations throughout North America. Eric and his wife, Melissa, have 2 children, a 13-year-old son, Axel, and 7-year-old daughter, Anastasia, who attend St. James Parochial School in Danielson. Eric and his family reside on the property where he was raised in North Grosvenordale. And Eric, we are honored to have you in our midst today and to honor you as Veteran of the Month for December.
Thank you. All right, why don't you come up and we'll present you with a plaque maybe right in front of the American flag. Take some, who's got the?
Our
A resident photographer.
Yeah, good. Yeah. And we'll do one with the family too, and Board of Selectmen.
All right, Town of Thompson honors Veteran of the Month, Captain Eric Kapitulik.
Let's take some pictures, guys. Appreciate it. How about the 3 members of the Board of Selectmen? Okay, and then we get the family. Good?
Family.
How about the family?
I know, God didn't look, but they're always looking like a camera.
How about maybe, yeah, just your immediate family, and then we'll get Nick, Slimmy, and Louise, and.
Three, two, one.
Very nice. Okay, I'll take you over that.
Maybe, if you could take a photo with Stacy and our whole family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You just moved in Jersey. Perfect. Oh, that's- I think there should be.
Oh, yeah. Eric, did you want to say a few words?
And Rainey's still got something
I
for that.
want to say a few words.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready, Denver?
Always has some nice words to say.
Louie and Louise, how proud are you of your son Eric? Like the
Really
volcano.
are.
Did you drive about 7 hours down from Maine? to
400
get here
miles.
today? I'm sorry,
400 miles.
400 miles,
Yeah, just
to
on
get here today, that's.
And we're
that's-
very proud of his wife and 2 children.
Oh, of course, we all are.
Thank you for doing this.
You're very welcome. I don't know where to start, other than to say, we have a real hero in our midst here today. Not just your ordinary Army or Navy or Marine Corps veteran, but someone who has experienced life and someone who has experienced things that most of us never will. Not only in his military life, but I think in his family life as well. First, I want to say congratulations to Eric, to Melissa, to Axel, and to Anastasia. You guys have one heck of a model family. You're the envy of lots and lots and lots of people. You should be very proud of your dad and your entire family. And then you have someone like Stacia and Ian and mom and dad in that back row that have been the backbone of raising a hero like Eric. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about why Eric, in my opinion, is an American hero. Not enough people know the story, not enough people, maybe not even in this room, probably not many people know what Eric has gone through. And I guess I'll start by saying, 25 years ago today, as ironic as that can be, 25 years ago today, the Los Angeles Times had an article on the United States Marine helicopter that crashed off the coast of California at Camp Pendleton. It happened 25 years ago last week on the 9th, I believe it was the 9th, so 25 years and 8 days ago. But how ironic is that we're talking about this now? This article, Los Angeles Times, December 17th, 1999. And I'm going to read a little bit about it because I think we all need to know the story of Eric. And there are people out there on Zoom, I think, that are listening in, and I think some of the media is as well. So they write in those Los Angeles Times 25 years ago today, in their first public comments, 3 Marines survived a helicopter crash last week that killed 6 fellow Marines and a Navy corpsman. Recalled Thursday the total chaos and mass confusion as men desperately tried to claw their way out of a crowded and pitch dark helicopter as it rapidly sank. Captain Eric Capitulic, 27 years old, the platoon leader, said he blacked out momentarily as the helicopter hit the water upside down after it tumbled off the deck of the oiler Pecos. He says, I remember waking up just in time. The helicopter was already about 3/4 filled with water. I had just enough time to get a gulp of air. I remember going the wrong way, turning back around, beginning to claw past equipment, getting hooked on stuff. For some reason, I looked up and saw the light coming through the hell hole, which is the opening of the bottom of the helicopter, at which time I pulled myself through that to surface. Capitol, who suffered a broken leg, said the only difference between the 11 Marines who survived and the 7 men who were trapped inside was luck. We got out because we were lucky, he said. We weren't knocked out when the helicopter hit the water. I remember saying to myself, I'm about to drown, and then thinking for just a second that I don't want to die this way. Well, I would ad lib here and say that I don't think it was just luck. I think it was intervention by the way you were raised and brought up, and you're a very religious family. I think a lot of that came into play on what happened that day 25 years ago. The crash occurred December 9th as the crowded twin rotor CH-46 Knight approached the Pecos as part of an exercise in which Marines practiced boarding a hostile ship on the high seas. Just above the deck, the rear landing gear of the helicopter became ensnarled in wire safety net that encircled the oiler, the Marines said on Thursday. The frantic scene was played out in near total silence. The Marines and the corpsmen were wearing earplugs to muffle the sound of the helicopter's engines. The 11 survivors were plucked from the water by crewmen of the Special Warfare Command boats who had just delivered Navy SEALs to the Pecos. A 2-day search by the Navy and Coast Guard recovered only a small amount of debris. After 29 hours of searching, the Marine Corps declared 7 missing men lost at sea. Asked if the crash will make him reluctant to board another military helicopter, Capitulic said, what happened to us was an unfortunate accident. It is not going to stop me, and it is not going to stop my men, because that would be disrespecting the men that were lost. Capitulic, walking on crutches and looked somewhat haggard, said he met with the wives often wives of the lost men Saturday night to console them. He asked that reporters not mention his broken leg. It is just so insignificant compared to what the wives behind us lost that day. That is the story of almost an unbelievable story. NBC made a documentary. Some of you may have seen that 25 years ago. NBC made a documentary on that accident. And here we are 25 years later, celebrating a real hero, celebrating a hero with his family, entire family. And we could not be more proud of you, Eric, as not only as a Marine, but as a person as well, a family man, a husband, a father of 2 beautiful, absolutely beautiful children. You're the envy of so many people. Thank you. I do have, I'm not sure, I did ask you, Eric, before I started, if you wanted me to get into a little bit about the rest of your story, which is difficult to get through. It is difficult to get through. I've read it 5 or 6 times, and I've teared up every time I've read it. I don't know if I can pull it off here tonight, but with your permission, would you like me to?
Whatever you'd like, Mr.
Okay. So this is the story about it's the write-up in the program, which is Eric's company, and It says, my wife and I got married later in life. I was 37 years old. Melissa was 35. We had our first child, a son, shortly thereafter. There he is right now. Our plan was to have 3 children, all 2 years apart in age. Life just didn't agree with our plan. Instead, after giving birth to Axel, my wife suffered multiple miscarriages and had numerous surgeries to repair her uterus. Due to the age and a host of other medical factors, after enduring 4.5 years of intra vitro fertilization, we had one last chance to get and stay pregnant. Our doctors would have liked to reinsert 3 embryos back into my wife, but at this point we had only one vital embryo left. That one is now our 3-year-old daughter, Anastasia, our second child. There's a miracle right there. Throughout IVH, we never lost hope, but as the number of viable embryos dwindled, we decided that we would try to adopt what we hoped would be our 3rd child. Remember, they wanted 3 children 2 years apart. We attended all the necessary classes, completed all the required background checks and home studies, and eventually were approved to adopt. After enduring 4 years of waiting to be selected by a birth mother, after suffering disappointments in various forms, this past February, we made the painful decision to forego adoption and instead becoming foster parents. The following week, our adoption agency called to tell us that a birth mother had selected us. After discussing it at length with each other, my wife and I spoke with our son and daughter and decided to move forward with the adoption of our 3rd child. 2 weeks ago, the birth mother delivered a healthy baby boy. Throughout his life, he would know that he did not come from us biologically. At some point, this might make him question if we love him differently than our biological children. Although he might question this, he would always hope that he knew the answer. We would always hope that he knew the answer. In an effort to ensure it, we decided to name him Eric Lewis Capitulic Jr. 6 days later, the birth mother changed her mind.
Oh.
I left our home with her son 30 minutes. I left our home with her son 30 minutes after receiving the call from the adoption agency. My wife, son, and daughter were huddled together on the kitchen floor, holding each other and crying as I departed. On the way back to New York City, my wife texted me and asked me if it was okay for our son, Axel, to miss school the following day. I readily agreed. However, as I drove home a few hours later, after having an opportunity to think about it, I texted my wife, told her that I had changed my mind and asked if it was okay for us to send him to school. Axel was still awake when I arrived home. I told him that I had a surprise for him and that I wanted him to get out of bed to get it. Late that night, my wife Axel and I sat down to eat McDonald's, his surprise, and talked. Remember that? You were too young. Following is what I said to him. This is Eric's words. Axel, I want to tell you how I define success and failure. I do not define it as winning and losing. Winning and losing is just winning and losing. Winning makes us happy and losing makes us sad. And I would rather be happy than sad. Winning is important. Don't ever let anyone tell you that it isn't, because it is. It just isn't, however, it just isn't how I define success. Success is giving 100%. It is giving and doing our best in both our preparation and during our execution. Take a test in school, competing in an athletic contest, etc., etc. Performing music recitals, climbing a mountain, conducting a sales meeting, etc. Failure, therefore, is not giving 100%. Tonight, you are all learning a valuable lesson that if you give your 100% in your preparation, it doesn't guarantee you will always win in your execution. You can give your 100%, and unfortunately, sometimes you will still lose. This evening, our family and you personally experienced a great loss. But I want to tell you that you did everything you could have done for that little boy as his big brother. I also know that this hurts badly right now, but I want to make sure that you know that if you can remain disciplined and be physically, mentally, and emotionally strong enough to continue to always give 100%, although you may unfortunately experience more loss, more hurt, more sadness, you will provide yourself with an opportunity to be a success. Second, Daddy may not know a whole lot about SMART, but I disagree with that. But Daddy knows a little bit about tough. Axel, tough guys cry. They have emotions. Really tough guys can talk about their emotions, and really tough guys ask for help when dealing with them. You cried tonight, Axel. Maybe next week or next month, something will happen to remind you about the loss we experienced this evening, and you will feel like crying then. Do so. Tough guys do. Talk about it. Really tough guys do. And know that mom and dad are always there to help. Ask for it. Really, really tough guys do. But Axel never forgot that tough guys go to work. We move forward. Tomorrow morning, your mom and dad are going to go to work, and you are going to go to school. That is also what really, really tough guys do. And I know you are one. This is an opportunity to prove it, an opportunity to prove it to your mom and me. Most importantly, it is an opportunity to prove it to yourself. I know you will. You are my only son in this whole world. Thankfully, you are the greatest son I could ever have in it. I am so proud of the young man that you are, and I love you with my whole heart. I love my children so much and wish that I could guarantee their success. Unfortunately, I cannot. They must do so by themselves. They must first be able to accurately define it, and then they must get to work. So too must all of us. Eric Capitolo. That's an unbelievable life story for all of us here tonight, and anybody who's listening out there. Eric, for this, for your experience 25 years ago this week, you are just a model person, a model service veteran, I personally thank you. I've known you and your family my whole life. I personally thank you and your parents and your sisters. Thank you. Thank you for what you've done, and thank you for the. I read this because I wanted all of us to learn something tonight. You know, we had veterans come in, and we thank them for their service, but this is a whole lot more than just service. This is about life. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
That's very nice, and I'd like to thank you all for the recognition here this evening, and of course, Mr. Moran, who is the genesis of this award. I did find out something though during this process of being told that I was a recipient, and Mr. Moran told me, and breakfast. I did learn something through this process, which was surprising to me. But what I learned was that Mr. Moran is a liar. Unfortunately, he lacks integrity, actually. And the reason why I learned that through this is that he had told me that after I was the recipient that, Eric, numerous people have nominated you. And that's how I know he's lying, because I want to thank my aunt for, she's the one who nominated me, right? And in this whole town, well, there's my aunt, right? in the town who would take the time and the effort to do this for me, and there's my wife. And together, my aunt and my wife, that makes 1.5 people who would want me to get this award on any one day, depending on how we're doing, right? So I don't know if 1.5 means a lot, but in my book, it doesn't. That's how I know some more lacks integrity, but I do really appreciate it. And today, as I was thinking about this, about this award, I thought that I would just share one story with you all from the Marine Corps. When you do some of the things that I've done in my life that Mr. Moran talked about, people tend to, when they think of me in the Marine Corps, or just the Marine Corps, they tend to think about some of that stuff. And it's important. We're all the sum of our experiences. But the reason why I'm so grateful to having had the opportunity to serve in the Marines as a Marine Corps officer. That stuff is cool, jumping out of airplanes, diving in the ocean, very, very cool. But it's not why I'm most proud of having served our country as a Marine Corps officer. In fact, one time when I was serving, the last tour of duty I had was back teaching leadership and working in the admissions department at the Naval Academy. And on that day, my commanding officer came and spoke to me, and he asked me if I would volunteer for what he could not order me to do. It's the only thing in the military you can't be ordered to do. You have to volunteer for this service. And after agreeing to it that day, I drove home. I put on my dress blue uniform. I drove over to a family's home out on the Eastern Shore, drove up their gravel driveway, walked down their path, up the steps that led to their house, and I stood there. And I was thinking about this today. And I stood there scared. I mean, I don't mean, prior to a basketball game or a hockey game or a soccer game, nervous. I mean, I stood there scared. Because on that day, I was going to have to ring the doorbell. And when I rang the doorbell, I would have to tell that mother who answered it that her son had just been shot and killed in Iraq. And I had to do it. There was no, I don't feel so good today. I think I'm gonna stay in bed. I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna turn around. I'm not gonna go to the summit of this mountain. The weather's bad. I had to do it. And the reason why I had to do it was out of respect for her son as a fellow Marine and out of his mom who produced him. And so I had to ring that doorbell, and she answered it, and I ruined that woman's life. As only a parent would understand to get that news. Now, I'm very fortunate in that woman is still a very good friend of mine to this day. But as I reflected on that today, the reason why I am so grateful to having been a Marine Corps officer was for that experience. Because once you do that, once you have to stand there and ring a doorbell and ruin that person's life, and or even worse, much worse, being on the recipient of that news. Because of that, I've never had a hard day in my life. Today, with work and business, and it was a challenging day. Today was challenging. But I've never had a hard day. How fortunate am I that I can say that? I challenge my whole family. We have a joke at our house. You come over at our house and you're at the dinner table and you say, oh God, boy, practice was really hard. Our kids will tell you, no, not hard. Challenging. And we aren't allowed to say hard. That's except if you have a sick one, a sick loved one. You're dealing with the death of a friend, a family member, or a sickness of a friend or family member. By all means, go use the word hard, for sure. But the Marine Corps gave me the experience, the one experience in my life that's probably changed my life the most or has the most impact on the really tough days, which are, this isn't hard. It's just challenging. And I thought about that today, and I wanted to share it all with you tonight as we go into 2025, maybe as a mindset that we could all have. Thank you again so much for this opportunity and for this recognition. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I can't tell my aunt how much I appreciate signing me up for this, and just how much I love my wife and my children. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank
It's a privilege
Oh,
to
no,
meet you,
thank you.
and these events
Thank you.
have become the highlight of being a selectman. It's
Oh,
our
good.
first, first month, first week of the month where we honor our veterans. But I think you by far have been the most emotional that we have done,
Oh.
that I've gone to tears 2 or 3 times already. And for you
Wow.
to embrace your challenges the way you have is pretty amazing. I mean, there's one path or there's another path. You can either curl up and,
Yeah.
just let it consume you, but you haven't done that, and you've taken a really strong path. And
Well, I
thank
really
you very
appreciate it.
much for choosing Thompson to come back to.
Oh, yeah,
Make
no,
your home.
this is our
Make
home.
your children.
Yeah, this is our home.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and we love it, and we really appreciate all the work you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, John, what's up, man? Hold on. Good, good. You know, John. Yeah, throwing a little bit. Yeah. Hi, thank you. Hi, I'm Eric. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well. Thank you.
Thank you.
That would be great.
She's gonna do that. No, I mean, are you saying?
You mean Oh, I know. Yeah, he did. It's one of the great things he did when he was little, but now, now he's.
Been a great first semester.
That's like.
Soccer player and gymnastics and cheer, so it's wonderful, because every weekend we get to go watch Anastasia cheer. Yeah, basketball, life is good. Thank you again, yeah.
Yes, yes. He's in. He finds out Melbourne, but Atlantis base, and then so he does a lot of Melbourne. Frontier now.
Now, what is the noise?
Lou, you here for a while or for the?
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Susan had- He lived in a little town.
You just got this in Germany.
Oh, yeah, you know, I grew up in Monson. Oh,
Do you know where I mean?
Here,
Monson is on the way to Greenville. Who said that?
yeah, I don't personally know that, yeah.
That's
but-
not even Foxconn.
Oh, yeah, we go. we-
You're outside of what, Sky Beacon, that right?
No, we're north of Bangor,
Yeah.
1 hour and 15 minutes. So
So,
we're from Ellis and we're from the Canadian border, 60 miles.
yeah, that's approximately 60 miles from Jack.
A similar-
Maybe-
a similar summary.
It's about a horse trip.
We gotta get the meeting, yes, okay, thank you for being here, thank you, you guys were great.
Is that right?
Yeah, so.
Well, thank you for the service, Susan. Susan with the Dunsky, she lives, but your mother lives.
My mother lived, she's passed on in Monson, just outside of Dover.
After I get done with it.
Yeah, I go up there often.
It was a mess.
That's a nice house. Beautiful. Guys in this town used to have a hunting camp. Yeah.
I was back, I was staying in.
I'm afraid for what? Oh, but you look.
Did you?
Yeah.
But my husband Bill was there. Yeah, with us.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
6 years ago.
Thank
you.
Can you imagine?
Thank you for
Hi,
what you
Louise.
do for this town.
Oh.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Sorry, didn't mean to hold up
That's
the
okay.
meeting.
No,
No, it's fine.
it was that kind of meeting.
It was a nice meeting. That was really a nice tribute too.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. I think I cheered up 3 times.
Yeah, I thought I'd pull it off tonight without hearing.
You did a good job.
Came
You
close.
did a good job.
Came
Yeah.
close,
What's that?
came close.
All right, we will move on to agenda item 8, special town meeting, January 22nd, 2025. The purpose of the special town meeting would be to adopt amended ordinance 25-6 for the annual town meeting date, and then also adopt the proposed ordinance regulating purchases and sales for the town of Thompson. And those are the only 2 items that would be on the agenda. So looking for a motion to move forward with this.
Well, isn't the
Noticing this
resolve to
town meeting.
authorize publishing as well?
Oh, yes, to authorize publishing of a summary of ordinances, yeah. So those 3.
I will make the motion.
Second,
Okay, so we have a motion to move forward with noticing the special town meeting on January 22nd, 2025. Any further discussion on this meeting?
no,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye. And the second piece, it's not something necessarily, I don't think we need a motion, but I had presented the solar project letter. To the siting council from the Board of Selectmen. I thought it would be appropriate if all 3 of us signed it, if we're all in agreement, in sending the letter. This was the one I presented and I gave you guys copies of. That.
Was there
again-
one change to this? Forgive me for not remembering.
No, there wasn't. a change.
There was no changes, right?
No.
Okay. What was I thinking? There was one change.
Oh, I did double check with both Mrs. Menard and the Gilberts, and they were fine with us using their name. That was one of the questions.
That was one of the questions. Was there a misspelling or something?
I think so.
Ken, do you remember?
I'm gonna take your pen though, so that we're all in black for this. If I could.
I'm fine with signing it.
Do you want to look it over and see if there was? I didn't think.
No, I mean, I read it twice and I didn't see anything.
I know I was tasked with double checking with the residents that were listed in it.
Yes. Ken, are you okay with?
yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, we just pointed out some of the concerns. Representing both sides, it's a worthwhile project as well,
Right.
so. Just gotta balance it and make it work.
And just know that January 16th is that public hearing. Yeah, I'll be running it for some of the residents who might not have access to Zoom here for them before the Board of Finance meeting,
Okay.
Okay.
so. All right, any other business to bring before the Board of Selectmen? Did I already say that?
No, we just finished the letter. I
Okay.
don't have anything.
Nope.
Okay, me neither. Opening the floor to citizen comments. We'll start with the Zoom audience. Any citizen comments? Citizen comments in the room? Seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 12, tax refunds. I make a motion that we refund Hyundai Lease Trust, $181.06. Kathleen Panu, $49.19, and Nissan Infinity LT LLC, $221.05 for a total of $451.30 in tax refunds. Make that motion.
Second,
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
motion to adjourn.
Ken has a motion
Second.
to adjourn.
Second.
Dan has a second. It is 7:45 PM. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 That's not my name. Aye.
All right. Good night, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.